Today on Filter, we are looking at the top 10 PS1 games from us here at etchaplay.info. Well, let's start out that lit with something that might have went under the radar for a lot of you, which is the Future Cop, LAPD. This game was very unique to me as a young kid, mainly because it had a Robotech vibe to it in some cases. It of course you playing as a future cop with your ability of your cop car to turn into a mech, to fight off pretty much gangs and whatnot. Driver, of course. You know, that game cannot be left off the list, because in some cases this is what probably helped GTA in a lot of ways, with being one of the first open world games that was actually done in 3D while GTA was still doing 2D. The gameplay itself is just mainly running from cops and doing drug missions and delivering people and whatnot. But overall, this is just a fantastic fun game for the PlayStation 1. Feel Effect, which might have been overlooked by a lot since it was a very similar point-and-click survival horror Resident Evil style clone. There was a lot going on in this game, but mainly this game probably could be fondly remembered of the graphics, of being one of the first cel-shaded games, and using it to great effect, and of course if you want to think about it in the other spectrum, it was quite perverted in a lot of ways, especially the sequels. GTA 2, does it have to be one of the best GTA games of the original trilogy, and of course the last GTA before going 3D, and this game has been pretty much born into my childhood memories, if anything, for that opening scene. Twisted Metal. What can you say about a whole bunch of psychos fighting for the wish in vehicles fighting to the deaths? This was a very unique game at the time, and with a sequel coming along, personally, I cannot wait for it. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, which is of course the sequel to Pro Skater 1, and pretty much in the whole series of the Tony Hawk game, Pro Skater 2 is one of the best, introducing many interesting addiction to the game that actually made it very much more of a competition than in past Tony Hawk games. And in some cases, still have some of the best level design of the series. Resident Evil 2. Caught would be in the sequel to Resident Evil 1. Resident Evil 2 is a fantastic game, mainly because of the 2 killed, and the ability to play the game a total of about 4 times with different scenario playing out on each playthrough depending on your save game from your last dish you played, and each dish was a separate character. This was a very unique style of game, and it would highly miss in later Resident Evils. Tenchu Stealth Assassin. This had to be one of the very first 3D stealth action games I personally ever played, and honestly you can't really go bad being a ninja. You actually felt like a ninja sneaking around, killing the random people off in stealth. It heavily got the vibe across, and in that case it just had been born into my memory. Final Fantasy VIII. Cool, this is one of my all-time favorite Final Fantasy, and the very first Final Fantasy I ever played, and with being a trading card game nut for the most part, having the ability to play such a game within Final Fantasy had to be one of my favorite minigames of the series. And on top of the leveling system of the junctions of using magic that you draw from monsters, some people might find it a little tedious trying to collect certain magic to boost your stat, but personally it heavily had this Pokemon type of vibe to it. If you play the game, you would know what I'm talking about, especially if I play to the card game. And number 1, of course, Castlevania Symphony of the Night. This had to be one of the best Castlevanias in the whole trilogy overall, and it's had been released on multiple platforms over the last decade or so, but still, this is the best Castlevania. For anyone that want to know where to start in Castlevania, this is where to go, because this, it personally, will always be on my top 10 list of best games of all time. Today's episode is sponsored by the Tilt Caps, which is available on enterplay.info as well as their own website, which is tiltcat.com. The Carousel Podcast, which is available at carouselpodcast.com, also on enterplay.info, where you can find out more stuff about video games, comics, movies, and so on. The Norgasm Video Game Podcast, which can be found over at norgasmnetwork.wordpress.com. Well, over there you will find multiple podcasts, not just about video games. And soon, the video game podcast will be on enterplay.info as well.